about 70 kilometres south of Cairns. We're at Babinda Boulders. We were here a couple of years ago with Barry and Lindy, but this time just us, and we stayed at the free camp near the boulders. We visited one of the swimming areas. We went in the water, but we just stepped into the water. We weren't like these young guns who took the more adventurous route. After we had a swim, we went for a walk and a drone flight further along the creek and had a chance to really look at what the boulders look like from the sky, but also from the walkway. The water's very, very powerful. The colours are quite spectacular, but they are very, very clear with their signs here saying that people have actually died trying to swim this section of the creek, and they strongly urge people not to go into the water, but to stick to the designated swimming areas. Just have a look at the power of the water here and the patterns in the rocks. These patterns have been carved out by the water over many, many hundreds or thousands of years. Some deep holes, wave-like patterns. The water is always trying to find the weakest spot to get through, and when it finds a way through, it continues to erode so that the channels get deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually the water finds yet another way to get through. You can see from the colour of the water how cold it is. You can see moss on the rocks, and you can see how powerful it is. Some of these gaps are not even big enough for a person to fit through, and so you can imagine swimming here, you could get quite hurt by the power ramming you into the rocks. There's a little bit of algae in the water on the edges, but even on these rocks here you can see that from time to time you can see a little bit of greenery and some plants growing on the rocks, but also as I took the drone up higher where the sky was clear, you'd see that surrounding the creek on both sides there are actually some sizable trees. The drone was able to take some fantastic video shots, but when I stopped the video and took still photos, it looked a lot brighter, and you can see just how colourful Babinda Boulders is. After our walk, we headed back to the car park, only to find that even in the car park here, we were visited by our old friend from Eddy Bay from a couple of years ago. The next day we were in Babinda Creek again, but downstream, much more gentle. We picked up some kayaks and went all the way into Babinda. The water was so beautifully clear. You could see the rocks as we paddled over it. You can see Grandma here going at a good pace. We had the current with us. We saw lots of birds, lots of fish. It was just such a peaceful and enjoyable 9-kilometre paddle. I mentioned the water was very, very clear. In fact, it was so clear it looked like Grandma was floating on air.